And welcome to our more in-depth look here at fields around Earth and so on, fields around the Sun. Starting out with the earthly ones here. It's the Geospace Magnetosphere movie. We're showing the last 4 hours here as it's what shows on the available data. And we are expecting the geomagnetic unrest conditions to recede pretty promptly here because of a shift in the fields. We've also got a new heliospheric current sheet. You can see that solar wind subsiding a little bit there, or at least the effects thereof because of the magnetic field shift. So here is the ground magnetic perturbation map showing you the most likely places for aurora and power induction, power line induction, pipeline induction, railroad track induction. Just a minor period of geomagnetic unrest there associated with a bit of a negative BZ signal and a bit of an uptick in the solar wind velocity. So a little early coronal hole wind stream showing up here, as well as a shift in the current sheet, likely showing up right there. And you can take a great look at that here with the top view ecliptic plane field plot. This South Pole current sheet showing up. North Pole current sheet setting to our west. And here's a line of sight view. You can see that blue line shifting up there toward those sunspots 2954 and 2955. Also, the sun looks like a bit of a drama face. We'll get to it after we look at the line of sight coronal hole plot. So we've got these South Pole coronal holes rotating in. The current plasma comes from these North Pole oriented coronal holes. And there is a fantastic view of that from the SDO. And here's your drama face. Am I right? All right. We'll also look at sunspots here. Sunspots. We've only got 2 named groups. I think this group's going to get named Sunspot 2956. I think it's been there longer than 12 hours. We did document some umbrae there yesterday. They may have evaporated and returned. I don't watch them that closely, but the current situation is this is a beta class sunspot. Here's 2954 and 2955 over the past 24 hours. Spectacular imagery there. Great images there of 2954 and 2955 from the SDO. Yes. Classic. Only one significant flare here. Happened at 6:30 or so, a little bit before 6:30. 6:20 or so. And it was just a C1.5, no, a C1.5. And one of our favorite wavelengths is, of course, 94 angstroms. And that flare did come from this active region down here. Sunspot 2956. I think we've got some slow-mos here. This is 2/3 speed, I think. Great imagery there of plasma rushing around. A little bit of turbulence there in the ionized helium band. Next, we've got 2954 and 2955. Looks like a giant M to me. All right. Yeah, so you could see some flaring down here in the southern portion of that. Proton flux pretty steady here. And the real-time solar wind, you're going to see an uptick in the velocity just in the past few hours there. So a little minor coronal hole wind stream showing up here. Not a big spike in the density, only up to about 17, 18 protons per cubic centimeter. protons per cubic centimeter. Go ahead, say it. I dare you. 463 kilometers a second is the velocity at the current moment. It made it down to about 350. So, but I think what caused the geomagnetic unrest were these two pulses of pretty strong field there too. 9 by -7. 9 for the total field, -7 on the negative BZ there. So we haven't really seen a downtick in the solar wind density yet either. So this is going to be a significant series of coronal hole wind streams showing up. But we are going to see this subside, I think. We're going to see this come back down to a KP3 shortly. Next, and need I say it? I guess I need to say it, since this is YouTube. YouTube, the planets are not going to kill you. Carry on. All right, let's advance this 1 week. We'll be going through a new moon. Ah, my favorite phase. Where reverse werewolves thrive. The new moon. For some reason, why is darkness so secret? And why is the universe so brightly illuminated? There's where things will be in a week. If you were up before dawn, you may have seen Venus, Mars, and the moon all side by side. You don't see that one every day, folks. So if it's pre-dawn where you're located, go check out the moon, Mars, and Venus side by side. It's pretty sweet. And we got to get this video up so that you're aware of this, as this was not a live streamed video. Next, some chronographs. Here you can see Mercury on the C3. That's the LASCO C3 located at Lagrange point 1. Stereo A coronagraph located at L5 on the left pane. And total electron content forecast will show you likely spots for GPS errors. People around the equator know their GPSs will not work around noon. Although sometimes we see massive errors not near the equator. Right now everything's fairly run-of-the-mill when it comes to this. Some minor anomalies there around Antarctica. If anybody's noting those errors at Antarctica, let us know. And what the total electron content forecast is showing is the thermosphere, ionosphere, plasmasphere, Van Allen belts, all of those electron. That's why it's called the total electron content forecast. And let's blast through the rest of the data here. We showed extended solar videos. So we got some charging hazards here associated with high levels of electron flux, it looks like. Here's the 1-year chart. Where are we at now? Anyway, some charging hazards expected over Central America, Mexico, and the Pacific Ocean. The area north of the equator expecting some surface charging. Electron flux observed a little higher than the forecast. Check your charging satellites. Next 300 kilometers is where the F layer is located, the F layer of the ionosphere. Here's an ionogram of that. The vibrational frequency depicted here in megahertz. There's a lot of vibrating going on in certain parts of the atmosphere, folks. Some much more than others. Here's the anomalygram. And we see some anomalies happening here around the equator, primarily. Keep in mind, folks, the equinoxes are the most geomagnetic time of the year, historically speaking. It all has to do with the perpendicular nature of field force lines and stuff. Anyway, if you enjoy the content, check out our links. We've got some crazy designs here on the Redbubble shop. Some of those are going to come down in about 2 days. Plus, you can get 20 flash 20. We'll save you 20, as in percent. That sale ends Tuesday. If you haven't pressed like and subscribe, the Smashers of Hazard would appreciate it. Shout out to Henry and Al.
Just a good old smash.
And welcome new viewers to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. I don't know how you accomplish that. Let us know in the comments. Consider becoming a member of the Smash Team if you want to support the content at smashamash.com/SmashTeam. And you'll get some additional features there similar to Patreon. Our next bonus feature will use the Cerro Tololo ground-based solar observatory located at Chile. Here's some quite current data. Lots of filaments on the earthly side of the sun here. We could see all kinds of earthish coronal mass ejections. Next, we'll show you the latest colorized magnetogram and intensitygram. Here's the intensitygram. Sunspots 29, 54, and 55. Mostly stable since yesterday. I think 55 may have grown a little bit. A spotted sun is a happy sun. Anyway, and you can see multiple umbrae down here. So that sunspot's going to get named, as we talked about in our previous videos. Colorized magnetogram. These are alpha class sunspots. Not so likely to produce major flares. This area down here has already produced a C-class flare. Sunspot 2956 will be the name of that one. I'm quite sure. This area here, not a sunspot at the moment. Drama face. There's a coronal hole drama face. Next, some more current imagery here. It's the GOES 16 SUVI. And some more SDO images. Here is 171 and 304. One of the house favorites, folks. And here's another one that shows a lot of filaments. So looking at 131 and 171. We replaced the 304 with 131 for this. That's a spectacular set of wavelengths as well. Thanks for tuning in as well. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. And we'll see you next time at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news.